Now, campaigners in support of Leon Briggs, the Luton man who died in police custody, are calling for all police officers to wear video equipment to reassure the public. The Justice for Leon Committee is making the case to police and councillors at the Town Hall in Luton this afternoon. 39-year-old Leon died at Luton Police Station on the 4th of November this year. Professor Lawrence Sherman is the director of the Institute of Criminology at the University of Cambridge. He helped design a study looking into how body cameras change cops' behaviour. Good morning, Lawrence.
Good morning.
Does police wearing cameras, does it really make them behave differently?
Well, we did an experiment with police in California in which we added the cameras to some shifts and not others. And we found that there was a huge reduction in complaints against the police. But we don't know whether it was because the police changed their behavior or because the complainants didn't want to make claims that would be falsified by looking at the videos. It probably was a bit of both.
So it can affect the behaviour of both the police and the people on the other side, potential crooks?
Well, we don't have a direct measure of that, but I think to roll it out in this country without further research is a mistake. And I'd like to call on the College of Policing and police commissioners as well as chief constables around the country to strongly consider using the same methods that medicine uses to introduce new surgery or new pharmaceuticals. The key thing is to conduct a controlled test, as was done in California for a Cambridge master's thesis. The police chief in California came to study part-time at Cambridge in our master's program for police chiefs, and he ran the trial properly, and that's the only controlled trial that's been done in the world. It was cited by a U.S. federal court decision in ordering the police in New York to wear body-worn videos for stop and search. And there are many important questions, like the role of video evidence on making prosecutions in court, the extent to which people will or won't provide information to the police. It would be a real mistake just to go ahead and blindly do this with every constable in the country, as opposed to controlled trials with detailed analysis of what effects the cameras will have.
It is being trialled on a small scale in various parts of the country, but it's at the discretion of the police officer when they turn the camera on. That sounds flawed to me.
Well, I think it's one of the questions that a proper trial could raise. You know, when you say it's being trialed, there's a huge difference between just doing it and doing it with a randomized controlled design so that you're creating very like-for-like situations with and without the cameras. So you could compare a policy in which officers can turn it on and off at their own discretion with a policy in which they're required to keep it on at all times, except when they're going to the loo or other circumstances which they can announce on the video and have it off for that period, but then put it back on the rest of the time. And there's various ways to do this, and I think that's what we have to look at very carefully.
And are there any plans, do you know, for more studies to be done in the UK or in the States?
The University of Cambridge is currently in negotiations with several major police forces in the UK to do these trials in a proper way, and I'm guardedly optimistic that we'll be able to conduct much bigger, more robust and reliable trials of the use of cameras here in the UK as a basis for evidence-based policing.
Thank you very much for that, Lawrence. That's Professor Lawrence Sherman, Director of the Institute of Criminology at the University of Cambridge.
Call 08459 455 555.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
08459 455 555. Now, Ronnie Biggs has died at the age of 84.